Well, hello there, everybody. Happy Sunday. Just to let you know, as of 11:50 a.m. this Sunday, Canvas is down. So if you've got your stuff submitted and there's no grade attached to it, it's because I can't log in. That doesn't stop us though. We've got things we've got to do. And this video is about the Civil War explanations assignment, which fingers crossed, Canvas is open tomorrow morning. I'll make the assignment live, and you can get started when you're done with testing. So, with that being said, here is what I've got with my explanation stuff. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we should be looking at, well, not the Zoom page, it's this thing. I asked you to create this on Friday. It's just your all of the stuff that you would include on your timeline and just categorize them. My big suggestion in the timeline was for you to color code it, and that's cool if you didn't. Um, Either way, what you want to do in this assignment is actually explain the stuff on your timeline, because the timeline itself is like a visual of all of the things that you put about the Civil War um, into chronological order. Now, this is the assignment where you're doing the research as to why these things are important. So, the two questions that you want to include, or two questions that you want to answer in this assignment. And I'm just going to go ahead and post it so you can see the visual. Um, so, what happened? Why is it important to the war? So, I'm not going to over explain this assignment because this calls for you all to do your own research. So I'm going to do one that's fun for me because I have a tattoo about this battle. You see this guy here? Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. That's Admiral David Farragut. He got famous at the Battle of Mobile Bay. Oh, why did I not include that? What am I going to cut? Let's cut this. Battle of Mobile Bay. And again, even if you created your timeline and your event that you put on there, you don't really find a lot of stuff on there. You can go ahead and change it, um, and make your decision there. Because the fun thing for me, and this is why this assignment's like going to be worth more than the actual timeline, is this explanation is going to be nicer for you to kind of put everything into context, or um, have it explained a little bit. So, Battle of Mobile Bay is important to the war, or at least for me personally, because this guy inspired a tattoo. That guy right there, Admiral David Farragut, um, and he became famous at the Battle of Mobile Bay. And I'm going to go ahead and go back to this timeline because this resource is probably the one that you got a lot of information from. Like, there's plenty of things to include. And just as a reminder, anything in red is going to have something that you can click on. And the great thing about this website is you get to see who got to fight in the battle, like the types of casualties that were um, had in the battle itself. And some of them are going to be big, some of them are going to be small. But again, what I'm going to do is the Command F, and I'm going to find the Battle of Mobile Bay. Bingo. It's right there. So once you click on one, hopefully it's in red. If it doesn't, and I'll show you one that doesn't have it, as it's, I know it happened during the Civil War. I just had to do a little bit of extra research. You start off with seeing this explanation. So, Battle of Mobile Bay. In the early fall of 1864, Admiral David Farragut's fleet attacked one of the last open Confederate ports. After one of his ships hit a torpedo in the bay, Admiral Farragut famously said, "Damn the torpedoes, full steam ahead." Several hours later, his fleet defeated the Confederate fleet and secured the bay. And then it That's the brief explanation. This is how it ended. And then when it says in context, this is where you're going to get a lot of information about why this particular battle um, was important. So, in context, Mobile Bay was one of the last open Confederate ports. Its defenses included a series of forts, mines, and obstructions, making it hard for any federal force to attack by the bay. By 1864, David Farragut was tasked with capturing the bay and closing the port. During his preparations, Admiral Farragut assembled a joint Army and naval force. Operations began on August 2nd, 1864, and lasted till August 23rd. After taking Fort Gaines on Dauphin Island and Fort Morgan on Mobile Point, Union forces cut off Mobile from open trade. So, let's go ahead and describe what happened. So, what happened? Admiral David Farragut attacked Mobile Bay, Alabama, and captured the fort located there. And again, you don't have to go into too much information because you've got to do this 20 different times. So what I'm looking for here is a 2 to 3 sentence explanation for what happened and why it's important. So why is it important? And again, all you have to do, you can pay attention there, but let's go ahead and open up a map. And we're going to go to Mobile Bay, Alabama. And you're going to see this is located right on the um, Gulf of Mexico. Let's go ahead and zoom out here. Once we're able to do that, there's Mobile. Let it load. Bam. So one of the things that you'll learn when you study the Civil War is the Union Navy wanted to block off Southern trade with all parts of the world, because if they continued to trade with all parts of the world, they could potentially become legitimized by other nations. And the Union didn't want that, because if that happened, if other countries start to recognize the Confederates or the Confederacy as a separate country, there would be potentially other countries getting involved in the Civil War. And this was a long and nasty war happening inside the United States. And there were some battles that happened outside the United States. I'm just saying. But if the Confederacy is legitimized, that could potentially become problematic for the Union. So, why is it important? Battle of Mobile Bay was important because the Union captured another southern port city, which hindered trade for the Confederacy to other countries. Now for my history. This guy became famous for this particular saying, "Damn the torpedoes, full steam ahead." And that for me is extremely important because it's kind of my mentality. Like there's all of these things going on, and you just have to keep pressing ahead. And it's one of the reasons why that phrase is important to me, and I have it captured here in this tattoo. And you can do that for other Civil War battles as well, little bits and pieces of history like that. But this one's personally important to me. My dad always said this to me when there's a bad time in education, like something's not going your way. For example, like Canvas being down, it's not going to stop me. I'm still going to do what I can do. With that being said, one of the things that I would include on my timeline, it's something that Lincoln did. He made Thanksgiving as a national holiday. Now, how did he do that? Well, let's go ahead and see if we can find Thanksgiving here. And we can't. Oh, no. Is that going to stop us? No, it doesn't. Because once you do a little bit of research, and we went to the National Park Service for this one, and we're going to find out why this was important. So, Abraham Lincoln's Thanksgiving Proclamation. And I'm just going to go right here. In July of 1863, the Battle of Gettysburg resulted in more than 50,000 American casualties. Despite these losses, the United States gained a great victory during these 3 days. On October 3rd, 1863, with this victory in mind, as well as its cost, President Lincoln issued a proclamation. I do therefore invite my fellow citizens in every part of the United States to set apart and observe the last Thursday of November next as a day of Thanksgiving. So you can go on and continue to read the proclamation, and you see the document there. Here, a day of national Thanksgiving by the President of the United States of America, a proclamation. And we've got the explanation here about why it's important. This proclamation is viewed as the beginning of the national holiday of Thanksgiving Day. It was one of 9 similar proclamations that Mr. Lincoln issued during the Civil War. So, what happened? After the Battle of Gettysburg, Lincoln proclaimed that Americans should observe the last Thursday of November as a day of giving thanks. So why is it important? This created the national holiday we now know as Thanksgiving. And you can keep going into that. Like, as a president, Lincoln was like, wow, we have a time where Americans are killing Americans, and we need to set aside a day and just kind of reflect and give thanks for what we do have. And moving forward, that national holiday has become something that's very American. And again, this is one of the reasons why learning about the Civil War is so important. It helped define who we are as a country. And now, every last Thursday, hopefully, you all get to enjoy football, a parade, and a meal with family and friends. And that started during the Civil War. I think that's pretty cool. And then again, there's a lot of other things that you can do. And I just gave two of them there, what I would include. The Battle of Mobile Bay is important to me. Thanksgiving is important to me. And this is why I like this assignment. You've got 20 things that you've put on a timeline in your Civil War research. Now it's time for you to explain it. So that's how I would do it. Hopefully this video was important for your grade, maybe. But hopefully that video helped. Again, Canvas is down. It's 12:06 now. It's a 15-minute video, not bad. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to send it to you guys via email, and hopefully you can check it out sometime. today or this week. Again, get your rest in. We've got more testing this week, and you will see this assignment live later on. Have an awesome afternoon and happy research. Get some sleep.